Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Hopefully, you guys had a great Christmas over the weekend and are ready to jump back into the trading world. Let's get started with Friday. Took Friday off because I was sick. Took today off because I'm still going to be a bit nasally today. So if I cough, you know why I'm coughing, because still somewhat sick. It's the longest I've been sick for in a really long time. So uh, usually sick for a day, then I recover. But I don't know, man. It's been a while. Uh, so let's get started. I mean, it pretty much went as intended. We got our long off. Just really much, not too much in terms of arguing. With Friday's sort of follow through. We looked we looked at this and just said on Friday we were looking for prices to come down around here. You could have entered in anywhere here, put stops here, and just call it a day. Uh, Alternatively, we were looking for that second leg. We ended up going for one, two, and three ones, three swipes down. So again, we saw that 10 o'clock swipe. Like I said, you could have entered in anywhere here and just been fine. The only sort of trip out maybe would have been if you were not feeling like the extra sort of couple of units that did go down. It was like, yeah, let me get closer early, then you'd have hurt a bit, I guess. Is the best way to say. It's just like I would have been painful for you, but generally entering in at that 650, not too bad. Uh, Climbed the rest of the way and just consolidated for Saturday, Sunday, of course Monday as well, considering it was just off the tail end. Today I might be a lot more quiet as well. Not a lot more quiet, just the relative same amount of quiet as it has been. Uh, Trading session is coming live, but London has been closed, so we'll see if London being closed causes New York to also just be quiet. Because yesterday I think it was London's turn to be open. London really didn't do too much. London didn't do too much, of course. Asia did something, putting out a nice little outside to then pull away. But now we sort of stand the risk of it just coming back and just consolidating back up into this. We'll see if this just leads to sort of short-term volatility. That's something maybe we may consider, but generally, I'm not going to be too beholden on sort of just a lot of movement just for the sake of movement. Hey, pump it. Okay. I mean, looking at the news, nothing too important. Got a couple of bills that are auctioning. Could be nice, but again, doesn't look too important. Mortgages tomorrow. I mean, again, it should be a quiet end to the year. Ultimately ending it, I think, more down than it is up. Sort of look at how they break down for today. Breakdown coming into today. You can see we looked at that Friday, that swipe down, ended here, just consolidated. You can see this is the sort of spot book. No, it's not spot, it's futures. What am I saying? This is the futures, so you can see that sort of those people getting into short here, getting to short here, and then finally sort of being let up on here, pushing out. No, this doesn't look like a spot order book. I don't think it is a spot order book. Let me pull up the spot. There we go. There's a spot order. No, that is a spot order book. Bloody hell! Why is it it just doesn't have all my settings? There's a spot. Okay, so this is a spot book. Looks very different from what I'm usually. Yeah, yeah, it is a spot book. Fuck, bloody hell, man. Like I said, I am sick today, so my mind's gonna be. Let me pull up the future. I had a feeling these numbers didn't look right. Okay, so we saw that sell off, and we're still seeing a lot of selling off in the spot book. You can see that concentrated selling here. People are offloading sort of, I think, some level of profit. here for us. So we can see that sort of them letting up into there. They try bought a buy here. See that just like, oh yeah, let me break out buy this right here in Asia. I'm like, what the stupid. But you can't fix stupid, can you? Now sort of giving us induced selling. Want to contrast that to futures to see if that's correlated with people shorting. If it is, could sort of spell nice little upwards. But generally, if we're seeing this large offset of selling, it's just showing that someone's probably collecting longs on the way here, which is nice. So we're seeing this area being a collection of potential longs. Just say hold this and maybe go up on it. Comparing it to the what the futures is like. Again, we've got to wait for it to load. But similarly, you can see that liquidation cascade caused. Here, we'll wait for that to load up. ES currently, well, we'll wait for Bookmap futures to load up. We'll look at ES. Get rid of this. Back on raindrops. There we go. I mean, we saw that sort of climb, and this is a nice little pattern we can follow. I mean, most people just say, oh, we already know this is a flag failure. Jesus. It's just sort of coming like that, or you can just say, there's your Reaper, comes in, just total decline, doesn't really want to hold here, ends up holding in terms on that sort of, we already talked about that. On this, it ended up just holding this. You can see that 23rd off, all those days off, just comes back up, just trades above here. You can see now we're sort of on the more bullish side. If we sort of get a bounce on this sort of daily metric, we can just chalk the previous sort of sessions down to just collecting shorts. And if you sort of zoom out into a higher resolutions, like for instance a day, we sort of saw this as potential. So to say from here, there's your potential upwards, but we ended up just getting that W that we were looking for. As you can see, now we want to see that W try follow through, ideally bounce off of this thing, try continue higher, and you want today to try and continue somewhat higher to sort of try and validate the upward swing. Currently not really showing that within the morning session. Just looks like it wants to undercut the longs that it did sort of accrue on the morning session. So we'll see if they go how far they go under, and if they create entries to then try and pull it up. Bitcoin will sort of just catch the same sort of vibe, for lack of a better descriptor. There we go, slowly loading that in. You can see it all the way from Christmas. You can see that finally getting more data that's usable. We got hit into these, so we'll see if that just slow climbs back into that VWAP, then finally decreases itself down. Probably want to load a bit further out. That's most of Bookmap. It's the first time you're opening it, there's a lot of loading. I gotta have futures on the leftmost side, otherwise I get confused like I did before. I don't know, I'm just so used to having some level of order. It has nothing to do with having OCD tendencies, because I'm not very OCD, but there's some things you have to be pretty anal retentive about, just because otherwise it just messes with you. The way things are moving, we saw that long liquidations. We're seeing slow stacks of shorts, so we might climb back up into sort of look at that, re-look back at 16,850 around there, wherever this wall leads up to, wherever the VWAP ends up consolidating by the time we hit here. But generally, you can see this very current sharp offset that we've created could definitely spell something where if we did come in just to liquidate, we could then just further find lower ground. Find lower ground, we can see if we get these shorts reactive. Then from there, see if we can actually climb higher and get higher prices. Hey. I'm doing fine, as fine as I can, as one can be. How are you guys doing? That's the main thing. How have you guys been faring? How was your holiday? Spend it with family or whatnot? spend it by yourself, just looking at the wall. We look at what's it called again? Gold. You see gold just comes in, finds that 4-hour zone here, and just all the way back at that day. So now we're back at this sort of daily resistance. We talked about it. Such as being okay, cool. Once we're at this sort of daily resistance, we could then look to try reverse off of this. We'll see how far they decide to go off with this buffer. If they give us a second top here, then push back down. We still have sort of this sort of smaller 1-hour area target here that we can go feed to. Also works as 50% of that sort of range here. You can see that sort of caps off at these areas here. If we go to here, I think that's sort of your maximum reach in terms of potential to grab a short downwards. But generally been looking good. If you zoom out, we can see on the 4-hour, pretty similar things. You can see we came to that 4-hour zone here. We have that spread all the way to the current volume. As long as we don't go too far into it, we're still holding that sort of short bias with within sort of reason. It's a sharp sort of, as you can see, a sharp little W. We'll see how low they go on this one. I think when we start coming to here, that's when you start thinking that they'll start pulling something like this or something much higher in terms of wanting to hold this. Definitely considered. Ideally, want to go lower on gold. That's just personal. For personal reasons, I want to buy some gold, so I want to obviously for it to go down. That would be the greatest, especially if you can go down all the way to the monthly level. But I doubt it would. I mean, looking at the monthly, I mean, yeah, you can see this. It's just opening up very thin here. You can see that it's just it should be looking to come down in terms of midterm wise. At least try find something. We'll see if it finds something at these sort of higher grounds. And if it holds these higher grounds, then maybe we could consider this as swing upwards. But generally, looking at this, I want to see it come down to some certain extent. Has Binance loaded? Ah, yes, it's loaded a bit more. Okay, now we get a decent amount of sort of breakdown. You can see this is where we're heavy short at. This is, you can see our break. Oh, sorry, lagging. Goddamn. But yeah, there we go. Loaded in all the way from the 23rd to now. Yeah, we can see how we've sort of just built out the entirety of that weekend. Heavy sort of long here, heavy short. Not really too many liquidations on either side. From the looks of things. I mean, it's hard to argue this not being caused by liquidations of these shorts. So some liquidations on the high side. So that will probably sort of tailor and move a bit more down on the short side of things, in at least the sort of short-term initial sort of impulse down. We're probably looking for that again, build up short. We'll see if we stack, then we go higher of these equities, see how far we go, and if they choose to add longs to this already existing plateau of longs, or they just go in, come in, and just sort of decline that from there on out. Never been better. Yes, trying to. Ain't that a bitch? I mean, yeah, yes, coming down. Hopefully, it retests high and bounces. I think that's the only real cause for a Bitcoin to try go up the usual morning. Let's see. Not really too many numbers coming through. Like I said, I mean wholesale inventory 1%. Yeesh. Yay! Non-durable goods. We'll see if that's a mistake. In terms of why would you want to? Oh, we're coming to a close of a month. Yeah, so it's a new week, but it's basically trying to close off a month. So currently at the monthly sort of point of control, which is nice to look at. Let's hide. There we go. Hide drawings. Come out of this on 15-minute wise. There you go. An hour wise. There you go. Nice little dictation. This is the line we're playing with for bullish and bearishness, I guess. I mean, we're showing bearish volume here. We already know this is basically the break point that we have for longs and shorts to be made on either side. So, I mean, we saw one spike, two spike, a third spike, and this spike broke the internal point here. So we're breaking on these high sides. So, and we're seeing nice little decline, but decline might just lead into this because we are taking very much our time. Again, if we get a decline, if we're looking for a further decline, we're looking for some intermediary just take of liquidity from these shorts that were stacked here, because there's too many shorts just wanting to want to say, oh yeah, let's just go down. I mean, generally we do want to go down because we do have liquidations causing these up moves, so not really too many orders. These liquidations end up just being picked up by someone else. So again, it's somewhat short term. If we don't hold certain levels, we're not really looking too great. If we don't break past this, we're not really looking to go up any further than that. And even if we do start breaking, it's just trying to break and hold. That's the key thing. I don't think we might do, because I mean, look at ES. It's just sliding down, which is a good thing. I mean, they're stacking sort of cells. You can see they're iceberging appropriately. So that means someone's trying to pick up orders to some certain extent. We'll see if that leads into any sort of bounces to the side that we're looking for. Yeah, I mean the internal straight here. This is not too bad. So I mean, yeah, it could be nice for like a small bounce. And I always forget ES has a trouble building up a weekly chart. I don't know why. There's your ES slide down, all the way down, just clearing out that liquidity that it made on the open. You can see that. So we'll see if this just closes off this gap here and then pushes up. That's sort of your bullish, more tailor-made bullish sign. Considering everything that we did here, we still haven't opened the actual market up at these sort of higher prices. So I think on market open 9:30, we might expect a spike high. That might be the spike high to then just cap off these liquidation shorts to then drive price lower. Again, that will be your sort of simulated within Bitcoin as something ever so similar. Good morning. And this is what Bitcoin has been doing relative to these support lines that we've created, just consolidating between the two. Every time it breaks out, it just breaks out to trap longs. Pretty much that's all it's been doing. We know there's a lot of selling on this side, so again, could be a case where it drops, catches shorts, breaks these, and just sells to the highest bidder. We'll see how high they want to go with these bids. But generally, I don't think they want to go too high, especially it's a Tuesday. Again, end of the year, or what price we end on this year. So, I mean, open on rather next year. So it just decides the tone. If we look at sort of yearly VWAP, we can sort of just see how far we are from everything and just from reality in general. You can see that there's your quarter, which we hit surprisingly so. And there's your month rather, in the yellow. And the year is all the way up there at 26k. So this will, wherever we close down, we're sort of closing very aggressively away from everything. Now see how far we have to zoom in to get this as a visible resolution. There we go. Monthly VWAP's at 1700, so we might see that in terms of, I mean, we've already really seen that realistically. Let's actually pull up deviation bands for the month. There we go. Could be nice to see how far we are away from the month. So this is your monthly one that we built. You can see how volatile they got on this high side, then finally sort of hit out and just mellowing out in sort of first deviation. Probably gonna do some watch trading. I think sideways till 2023. Yeah, could definitely be some things. That's yeah, prepare for the next year. Clean out clean out some money. uh, definitely thinking. We'll see. Yeah, if they do anything substantial. I don't, like I said in the start. I don't think they'll do anything too substantial. I mean, again, this is the least profitable year. I mean, least profitable week within the year with 19 years of data. So that's something. That's excluding 08, 010, and the crashes. If you include the crashes, well, still basically the same. So yeah, average position is minus. It's down for this week from the open. I mean, monthly wise, it's yeah, we're way past this. So again, tail end. We'll probably pick things up next quarter. We'll see what happens. First 2 weeks of the new year, probably time for a rise. Yeah, go away. But generally not too keen on what's gonna be happening. I think that's not because I'm trying to ignore you guys and I'm sick and I'm just trying to end this as soon as possible. Okay, there's some of that. I'm joking. But yeah, nothing's really too entertaining here. Atom just looks like it's going up to go down. AVAX at that weekly level. I mean, it finally peeled away. Good for it. We'll see how far it can find its footing on the upside. But I mean, yeah, it could definitely be something to watch. But it first has to go escape 11.89, 11.9 just above there, and find footing above 11.75. So it's got a lot of work ahead of it. Generally with gold looking a lot decently stronger today than it is comparative to ES. I think ES will probably end up, if it doesn't hold here, it's just going to end up just going down continually. We'll see if this just leads up to this, because we still have to resolve all the liquidations from what we achieved on like the last couple of last week sort of end, and people just who just have their what's going to stop it, or who just have the best price available to them on their exchanges, they have to sort of wait for the market to open today. So there's that. I mean, it's closed yesterday, closing opens. London's closed the entirety, so not really getting London volume alongside. So there shouldn't be that sort of shift. And we have that small buffer that available to us on AUX, but generally similar story. We have a buffer up until here, generally looking for this to try and find itself somewhere down. See if there's somewhere down here, get a large little W going on. We'll see if they start doubling here and doubling like this. But if this is bearish, maybe we look for ES to maybe slightly be bullish, but again, just depends on how they decide to go things, because they could just move things with parity, because they just don't really want people to be profitable on this end. The fact that they ended last week was somewhat on a high note. I'd say so they ended it just here. I mean, and they ended on a low note for ES, on a high note for gold. So yes, they just drove the shorts out. I think there'll be more driving of shorts out, which might cause some interesting reactions. Maybe we see 9.5, yeah, 9.56. Who knows? But again, that just depends on open. I think we slide a bit further down and go up high. We'll see if we can break past 861 and again, and just go up that like minimal distance before closing up. Yeah, but generally, like, people who bought long here instantly regretting, and finally people who probably would like to have gone short here would probably regret that, because we're probably going to end up just swinging on the opposite side. But I don't know how far that swing will go. That's just the only thing I can't really say currently with certainty, considering with Bitcoin we are sort of trading this a bit lower, so we can sort of try climb. We have sort of Monday midpoint already here. We traded on the opposite side, we took the high, so we're definitely taking liquidity on the opposite side currently. So we'll see if they just swing both side liquidity, or they just swing up here, just reject here, then continue down. That's again just clean out some of the short, see how long it takes to do that at the VWAP here, or just above the VWAP, or just above this sort of high, see how far it takes for them to do to clean out those guys, and before sort of coming down and just saying, okay, you know what, enough's enough, let's sort of just clean out more, then push back up. I don't know, yeah, sentiment seems pretty boring today. I don't think there's too much to say other than that. And if you guys are happy with that, I'm happy to basically end the stream here and not waste more of your time, because I'm feeling a coughing fit coming on, and I don't. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, I'm just still not well. Any questions? You know what? Before someone asks, yes, I will go over ETH before. I know I have not looked at ETH today. Someone was gonna cry, and I'm gonna be like, oh no, it's your queen. Okay, Ethereum coming back down. I mean, nothing really too entertaining. Pretty much more of the same as Bitcoin's doing, just some more consolidating. Just been tighter in terms of where the ceiling's at, and it's been closer to the ceiling. So I mean, it could definitely try find its footing here. I mean, it's been doing so. If you can see the concentration of volume that we've had currently, where it's got a high, it's got a small short roof, and it's been hitting it a lot. But at the same time, it's found the floor pretty substantially. It's a straight line, yeah, basically straight. For the most part, and a couple of fishes to the downside. Was very low volume. You can see that here. Just hit out into there just to see if they could catch anything, but then instantly just pull it back and just held this. Was sort of was like relatively strong impunity. You can see the collection of bars here, just very weak. Just shows either a lack of liquidity or a lack or just a willingness in not an inability to trade it, but just an inability to move the needle. I would say just finally sort of coming out of it. I mean, you can see the last couple of days where with the open close, it's just been solid here on this sort of scope. I mean, if we pull out, can't be asked for pulling out on the actual thing. If we pull out on this, oh, volume dots, wow. Here you go. Good morning, good morning. yeah, I mean, current order book versus what's been happening, you can see that, yeah, they've been trapping longs here, just above this area point there. Slight cut off of actual data. Ooh, that's always rough. Yeah, you can see they're also long on this point, but anytime they fish, not really getting too much in the way of things. Do you know what? I'll also wait for it to get loaded on actual data points. There's never granularity is always one, otherwise it's annoying to look at. 0.5 tick size? No, 0.1 I think. There's ES trying to curl out. We'll see if that ends up holding. It's filled in the gap. Again, we're just looking for what open ends up doing if they just end up just liquidating all those players from last week into just by hitting last price at a very high unexpected point. We'll sort of just skyrocket whatever Bitcoin did here. I mean, you can see the daily reset. From the day reset, it just declined on the sort of spot, but a future just straight declining here. Same here. I mean, it stacked a bit of long, but most of these were just caused by liquidations. So there's not really too many new orders here. So more liquidations than orders. Actual people might come down short term, pull it back up. I think ETH probably more agreeable with that nature, but again, it doesn't matter what's agreeable on ETH. Rather, just have to wait to see what we get traded. We'll see what we have. I mean, you got a couple of stacks of orders here. Probably want a higher tick size because this feels very small. Spot as well, just selling into this area here, so probably it might be an aggressive. It feels like it just might spike higher for the sake of just taking out liquidity and grabbing actual orders before going down. So that's sort of considering ES has just basically done what it needed to do, was just straight relative, like with no interruptions, just went in. I mean, small interruption here, but no interruptions, just went straight down. Let's just fill out this area here. There we go. And there's your Ethereum. You can see finds its ceiling a lot quicker and just capitalize back it up, and also finds its bottom. I mean, its floor is a lot higher, so you can see there's just tightness. So it's already sort of coming back to it, and everything's just trading to some level of being at a floor. So we could just definitely see this as an Asia consolidation into some sort of climb. So I might not be too sort of surprised if it does do that. So you can see that if we treat this as current day, I'll give it a bit more opacity. There you go. Current day, we just traded down. This just creates a lot of shorts. Then we just push up. Then we just create a point. Because I don't think we go down yet without visiting a higher price. 740 first level before down. Seems a bit steep. I don't want to say that because I mean I don't. Just doesn't. I mean, it's the most. It might be like a midterm. It might work our way to that area. It does make sense that we see it at some point, but I don't think it's something we see today. There we go. Generally speaking, considering, I mean, we've been spiking high, so it might just be we just do this, then we go back down, then we start building towards this at some point. But it wouldn't be too bad assumption to, if you're grabbing a swing, to swing up into this. But if you're just scalping, you just see where the thing takes you. I mean, you could just bell over at like 17,100 and just say, okay, after 17,100 or 150, we're sort of just gonna come back down for a bit, retest these tops. Then from there we do something. because definitely seeing we're definitely seeing some long biases come, but I don't think we should push in for a straight rise like this. I mean, some cases we have, and I've been wrong about that. But it's just I never really call for it because it's not something you can just say with 100% certainty. It's just gonna go there. I mean, if it can, it would be great, but hopefully we get a bit of a quieter day, and more so like this. Then we just basically just do nothing. I'd rather have a do nothing day. I mean, even if we end up all the way up, we generally want to just look for ourselves to just come back down because it wouldn't be sort of it wouldn't fit with sort of where we want to be. I mean, that would sort of mean like 1500 for Ethereum, pretty high up, pretty steep. 1500 and I'm out for the day. Seriously, that short? I mean, they definitely are stacking a bit high. I mean, they again 17100. They won't really show cards this high. I mean, we can try and sort of smooth this out very aggressively again. Aggressively smooth things out. They won't show cards that high, but generally, where things are moving, they're just moving down into sort of this area here. The fact that we've got an increase in induced selling, and this has an insane amount of volume of just selling and being absorbed. That's probably signs that will go up higher, and then if we zoom out and look at spot again, not really showing cards up this high, they're just showing it in 100 or 10 pip increments basically from the conversion of things. So they are definitely stacking up higher rather than lower, so they're probably looking for liquidity higher from the looks of things. Just trying to get that cooperation out of ES. That's the major key factor right now. And if we go up higher, that sort of fits in with AUX wanting to come down. So maybe that'll cause this finally to just drop and just sort of fit into sort of this area here. From there, we'll see where we take that. And if this goes down, everything goes up high, then we could reach a sort of turning point. Then it just reverses, and we get our little double top here. We'll get our little W completing here, where this goes up, and everything else just comes back down after sort of cycling all these longs or whatnot. I mean, we are opening pretty high. I mean, from what 8.3 to what 8.7. I mean, yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, 8.7. So what, pretty high up. 3. Yeah, no, what? Yeah, we're opening pretty much relative parity. So yeah, just really realistically, just nothing going on in the just divided by 10. Yeah, 8.7. That's really high up. What the hell? Yeah, we're opening up all the way here. I just create a cascade of what liquidations maybe drive price higher. But if we open up here, I mean, then we'll sort of have to sort of complete a lot of things here before sort of try climbing up, or it just creates a rush, creates a rush of longs, which then gets countered and underrun before then actually going up and achieving anything. Very sort of interesting. Should be an interesting day. At least it should. If not, it should be just a very easy day to sort of hit out and say, "There's your ballpark. Let's hit out of the ballpark a bit." Just purely depending on sort of what market opens. I mean, market does end up opening very soon, so You're gonna see that in 20. You're gonna see that in 20 minutes where it ends up actually breaking, and if it just comes back into the sort of Asia, just becomes an Asia sort of stop hunt and just comes back up, be very controlled. See that, but generally, usually considering most things, this is usually a long structure. Okay, I pretty much again covered everything I want to cover. I actually did Ethereum, I mean, without being prompted to, so I'm happy. But looking at some altcoins again, Atoms just look like it went higher to go lower. We'll see how low it ends up going, and if it just ends up just closing this off here at 922, and from 922 just goes up into like what 96. See how high ends up going, but generally you're not too fussed about if it ends up just calling this the day. And it did have a nice little steady climb, just hit out into this, so we'll see if that just causes just a small catch, then just an explosion. Don't really want to look at dark because then I know it's been looking very, it's been very disinterested in it lately. Look at Rune, I guess. Just took the scenic route. Look how far things have come. Wow, just fractions. Yeah, I mean, probably no point looking at altcoins today. So Bitcoin cements itself in some level of normalcy, and I'm gonna probably wrap things up today. My head's sort of feeling a bit cloudy, so probably sort of not the best to sort of sit here and give out opinions. Last sort of notes, looks like 1 o'clock looks interesting. 2-year auctions, not too bad. 51 6 months, 11:30. So again, usual times for maybe potential pivots, but generally not really interesting today. And I will finish that here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day and you trade safe. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow and peace.